retirement do you dream of? Do you imagine an idyllic existence of exotic holidays, the great outdoors, and enjoying happy times with your grandchildren? Of course you do. But you also know if you want to make those dreams a reality, you better start saving hard in your pension now. If you don't, I'm afraid you're destined to struggle in your twilight years. After all, if you retired today and you relied on nothing but the state pension, you'd have a tiny weekly income of little more than £95. But I think you can all do a lot better than that. There's a great new way you can plan for your retirement by setting up a SIP. But what on earth is a SIP?
A SIP is a SIP card? No, that's a SIM card.
Yeah, no, I don't know what a SIP is. No.
Systematic investment plan? I'm not too sure.
Something in property?
It's another vehicle for pension saving, isn't it?
So a SIP, a self-invested personal pension, is essentially, it's just a place for you to put your retirement savings. So you pay your money over to a financial institution, they look after it for you, they invest it where you tell them to, and at the end of the day, you get your money back again. And at its simplest level, that's what it does for you.
With a SIP, you'll get a great opportunity to take far more control of your own retirement planning. And you'll be able to invest your savings in many more different ways than you would with a traditional pension.
One of the big benefits of a SIP is the breadth of choice available. So you can invest in UK and international shares, unit trusts, investment trusts, OICs, bonds, exchange-traded funds, covered warrants, you name it. But if you have a SIP, you can set up a stockbroking account with that SIP, and you can have access to all of this range of investments, and including individual shares.
The great thing about a SIP is you can do pretty much whatever you want with it. You can make it very simple or very sophisticated, depending on your experience as an investor.
Setting up a SIP was really pretty easy to do. I had a couple of pensions from previous employers, I put those in, I've got my own money going in now monthly into my SIP.
I invested all of my SIP in different types of trackers. Now, a tracker fund tracks different indices in the stock market. So for example, half of my fund is in a FTSE All Share tracker, some of it's in a FTSE 100 and some of it's in the FTSE 250. You can choose different types of tracker funds depending on what type of indice you want to track. But the point is they're really, really simple and straightforward.
So, how can you invest your SIP? Most SIPs give access to a cash fund where you can hold your pension money on deposit. Some investors use a cash fund so they can control the timing of their more adventurous investments. You may want to think about putting more money into cash as you get closer to retirement. This will reduce your exposure to the stock market. You could go for one or more investment funds, where a fund manager will invest money in the stock market on your behalf. You'll have access to hundreds of different funds, from investments in far-flung emerging markets to something a bit closer to home. Then you can chop and change as much as you like. You can also buy and sell shares directly using your SIP. The even more adventurous among you could go for shares listed on AIM or the alternative investment market. Or you could invest in something really exotic like futures and options. But this can be risky. You can even use your SIP to buy commercial property, or smaller investors could put some money in property funds, but I'm afraid residential property is barred. In fact, you can invest in just about any market, anywhere in the world. Now you have a better idea how you can use a SIP, but it's just as important you save enough too. So, in an ideal world, how much money should you invest?
How much you should save is a tough one, because most of us aren't saving enough. I think the easiest way to answer this question is to use one of the online pension calculators that allow you to run your salary and your age and how far you've got to go to retirement, and work out how much you need to save from that to get you the pension that you want at retirement. And it takes only a couple of minutes online to get the answers to those questions, and then you can start putting that money into your SIP and start building up that retirement fund.
If you want to invest in shares, there's fairly straightforward advice, and that is that invest in what you know, do your homework, have a clear idea of what sort of investor you are. So whether you're a value investor or a growth investor, whether you're passive or whether you really want to be very actively involved in the market and be trading.
If you fancy investing in something a bit more adventurous, you could take a punt on individual shares and see if you can beat the market yourself. But whichever option you choose, make sure you do your homework first and don't invest in anything you don't really understand. So I hope all this has made SIPP sound a little less scary. I opened my first one this time last year, and I must admit I was pretty alarmed when its value appeared to plummet within the first week or two of setting it up. But I needn't have panicked. Almost 12 months down the line, it's grown over 19%. There's really nothing to stop you taking control of your own retirement planning with a SIPP too.